Hi, what's up students? I hope everybody is preparing for the exam. And this video made especially for revise first 5 chapters. First chapter is not for profit organization. Their motive is service, not a profit. Profit oriented organizations are there. Profit oriented organizations are sole trader, which is that sole proprietorships and company form of organization, even partnership form, and apart from that many organizations expecting profit like individual family and HUF, which is that cooperative society, etc., etc. But we are going to study about not-for-profit organization. Their motive is only service, not profit. Service. But if you don't have money, how can you serve for the people? Definitely not. For that you need money. So that organizations also need money to serve for the people. What are the main resources for this not-for-profit organizations? Like legacy, grant in aid, subscription, donation, so etc., etc. So this and all are main resources for the not-for-profit organization. So many expenses are there. And like profit-oriented organization, not-for-profit organization also have to prepare some set of accounts. They are accountable for each and every single rupee, isn't it? So profit-oriented organizations are preparing every year 31st March set of accounts like called final accounts. Final accounts in grade 11 itself, right? You are very much experienced in it. How to prepare trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. So this is called as final accounts. This usually it will be prepared by profit-oriented organization. But not-for-profit organization also have to prepare some set of accounts called final accounts. They have to produce each and every year 31st March for statutory purpose. And accounting information seekers like subscribers, members, and donors, and even government, even society, welfare organizations. What are not-for-profit organizations? Schools, like educational institutions, colleges, etc., etc., trustworthies, and welfare societies, religious organizations, trade unions, labor unions. So these all are providing only service, not run for profit, isn't it? So they have to produce some set of accounts for its accounting information seekers. So those who are all like subscribers, members, donors, as I told you already. So what are those accounts? Like trading account, here they will prepare receipts and payments account. Receipts and payments account, like income and expenditure account, they will prepare, but instead that profit and loss account, they will prepare income and expenditure account, balance sheet. So what are the final accounts of not-for-profit organizations? That are receipts and payments account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet. Each and every year 31st March, that not-for-profit organizations have to produce for statutory purpose, especially to the registrar, isn't it? So that is for statutory purpose, and apart from that, the donors will seek that accounting information. If you have seen the movie Nani, that hero will ask, because hero will donate 15 rupees to not-for-profit organization. Bindu is a heroine, and he will ask him, in what way you spend my money to serve for the people? Likewise, he will raise a question against Bindu, and he will check it out all the account. Wait for a while, sir. I wanted to check the account details. Then I will let you know. Okay. He will give few minutes. Then after that, she will check all the accounting details. Finally, she will say, actually, sir, before 1 month, we bought some stationery items. So your 15 rupees was included in it. And he was very happy, isn't it? So likewise, accounting information seekers also, they are in not-for-profit organization. Don't think only profit-oriented organizations has accounting information seekers. Okay, you have to be very careful in it. And apart from that, what are the resources will come, and who will be the head for not-for-profit organization? All the affairs of not-for-profit organizations will be managed by Management Executive Committee, which was elected by its members. Okay. And receipts and payments account, specialization and features of receipts and payments account, how to prepare receipts and payments account, you know very well. Receipts and payments account, same like cash book. You studied in grade 11 about cash book. What is the cash nature? Real account. Same real account we are going to implement for receipts and payments account. Debit side is the receipt side, credit side is the payment side. Okay. So double column cash book, triple column cash book, single column cash book also. But here you can consider it's like a single column cash book. So debit side is the receipt side, credit side is the payment side. And it follows real account rules. What's the rules for real account? Rules for real account, anybody, can you say? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay, so what comes in debit, what goes out credit. Somebody will memorize the formula in different manner. So don't memorize, just you realize and you implement in account, definitely you can get very good answer. Okay, debit side is the receipt side, credit side is the payment side. It begins with opening balances like cash in hand, cash at bank, and all the receipt system will be recorded, whether it is capital or revenue natures. And all the payments item will be entered in the payment side, where irrespective of its natures, capital and revenue nature should be recorded, and preceding and succeeding period also will be recorded. Okay, so preceding means previous year and succeeding means that next, which is that preceding means next year and succeeding means previous year. So this and that everything will be recorded in it, which is previous year and current year and next year. All the items will be recorded in receipts and payments account. So you have to be very clear while you are preparing receipts and payments account, because income and expenditure account entirely different from receipts and payments account, and payments will be written in the credit side of receipts and payments account. Finally we will balance the both and we will get the answer. If we are getting debit balance, which is debit side excess than the credit side, which is receipts are more than payments, so it will say we are having some sufficient amount to meet out extra expenditure. We are having more money. It shows very good strength of the business. It's not a business, sorry for this word. So it shows the very good strength of not-for-profit organization. They are having capabilities to meet extra expenditure even if it arises in the future. Okay, and opposite sense, if it begins with overdraft and it will end with overdraft, which is the credit balance of receipts and payments account, will be shows the embarrassing result of not-for-profit organization. So you know about it, this and that about it clearly. You practice many problems, but till today they haven't asked even a single question to prepare receipts and payments account in board exam. But anyway, you should know this account, because they are asking continuously at least one question which is based on receipts and payments account, and it natures in 1 mark. Not for upcoming exam. I'm giving revision for board exam. Okay. At the same next one, you can utilize this revision for board exam also. So not only for this exam, you are not only studying for this exam, you are studying for board exam, right? At the same time, not only for memorizing and scoring marks, you have to gain more knowledge. So that is the output, educational output. I am expecting that only from you. Sir, I got this much mark, very low, sir. Don't say like this. You learn better than earlier. That is what I am expecting from you. Before you don't know, but now you know. That is what I am expecting. Okay. The next one, income and expenditure account. Nominal account rules it follows. What is nominal account rules? Debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains. How to be very clear in it? What account rules? What are the items will be entered? Debit side is the expenditure side. Credit side is the payment, which is that expenses and losses. Expenses and losses. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. I told you already real account rules, especially for receipts and payments account. But now don't confuse both the rules. Nominal account rules, debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains. So debit side is the expenditure side, credit side is the income side. So here you have to follow some rules. That expenditure should not be a capital. They are giving only importance for revenue nature, not for capital items. Capital items will be treated in balance sheet specially with the help of special fund, because we are having two funds: general fund, corpus fund, and capital fund. These are all general nature, and apart from this, special fund are there. Specific fund. If any expenditure is there, it will be meet out with that specific expenditures. Specific fund. Income and expenditure account. The second account we will prepare in not-for-profit organization, and it follows nominal account rules. Nominal account rules. What is nominal account rules? Debit all the expenses and losses, credit all the incomes and gains. So debit side is the expenditure side, credit side is the income side. So debit side we will write all the expenditure, but except capital in nature. Only revenue expenditure will be recorded, not capital nature. Have to be very careful in it. At the same time, credit side, you can record all the revenue receipts, not capital receipts. Okay, debit side you should record only revenue expenditure, and we are balancing both the side. We will comes to know surplus or deficit. If income is more than, which is credit side is more than the debit side, income is more than the expenditure, we will get surplus. That shows strength of the organization. They are having surplus amount to meet out extra expenditure if it arises in the future. Anyway, this surplus amount will not distribute to all the members. Will not distributed. Don't think like partnership firm. If partnership firm shows net profit, that net profit will be distributed to all the partners as per their profit and loss sharing ratio. So don't be in that mind. Okay, this surplus will be set off, will be ordered back along with capital, corpus fund or general fund. You know what is capital, corpus fund or general fund? Okay, that is general nature, and capital fund, it should be ordered if any surplus. At the same time, in opposite sense, expenditures are more than income, which is expenditures are more than income side. It shows deficit. Deficit means they are not having sufficient money to meet out their expenditure. Okay, so you have to be very clear in it. Then finally we will prepare balance sheet. Sometimes we will prepare two balance sheets too. One balance sheet is to find out capital, corpus fund or general fund, and another one balance sheet is usual balance sheet. 31st March each and every year we should prepare this balance sheet. As soon as completed on 31st March, all the set of accounts in not-for-profit organization, it should be submitted to registrar for statutory purpose. How to be focused in it. Okay, very good. Next one, not-for-profit organization, almost it is completed. You know features and nature and what are the account it is and how to prepare it. So everything you knows. And after completion of this, definitely in board exam they are going to ask one 6-mark question which is based on income and expenditure account. They will ask us to prepare income and expenditure account. They will be given in the problem receipts and payments account with some adjustments. So how to prepare income and expenditure account? First account, we should scrutinize all the details which was available in receipts and payments account. After that, revenue incomes will be recorded in income side and revenue expenditures will be recorded in expenditure side. Not capital in nature. Isn't it? Capital items will be set off along with it proper fund in balance sheet. If any expenditure arises in special fund, specific fund, so that will be adjusted with balance sheet under that specific fund account. And very important, 3 more questions will be asked to prepare subscriptions account. Many students leaving mistake in subscriptions account. You be focused in it. Definitely one question will be asked for board exam to prepare subscriptions account. That is 3 more question. Okay. Past 10 years they are asking same pattern only. One income and expenditure account preparation question and another one is subscription based question, and one mark will be asked from this chapter. Collectively 10 marks. So apart from this chapter, all other chapters collectively going to give only 70 marks. But this chapter alone gives 10 marks. So how to give more and more importance for this chapter. Okay. So you have to be very clear while you are preparing this not-for-profit organizations set of accounts. Chapter 2. Fundamentals of Partnership Firm. Fundamentals of Partnership Firm. So this chapter gives information for upcoming 3 chapters. Reconstitution of partnership firm, admission of a new partner. Reconstitution of partnership firm, retirement or death of a partner. Reconstitution of partnership firm, dissolution of partnership firm. So for this all the situation, how to deal and what are the specific items should be dealt and what are the basic items. So everything we will discuss in this chapter. Chapter 2, Fundamentals of Partnership Firm. So you know, partnership firm is very dangerous because their liability is unlimited. Their liability is unlimited. Unlimited liability means they are individually and collectively liable for firm's debt. They are individually and collectively liable. If any one partner fails to pay his liability to its creditor, the entire partnership firms to suffer. By chance, partnership firm couldn't pay its liability to its creditor, all the partners are liable to the firm's liability. Partners are individually and collectively liable for firm's debt. So from this word you should learn everything. What is the meaning of liability and what is very dangerous form of business. So this is Partnership Account Act 1932. It gives so many rules and regulations for Partnership Act, partnership accounting system. As per this 1932, what is the minimum and maximum number of members in a partnership firm? Minimum number of members in a partnership firm is 2 and maximum, if it is banking business, 10, other business 20. That you know already, isn't it? But it is upgraded, it is updated. In the year 2013, as per Companies Act, it was 100. Maximum number of partnership firm is 100, and 2014 amendments of Companies Act, partnership also included in it. So that was reduced to 50. Reduced to 50. Now, if they are asking any question like what is the maximum number of members in a partnership as per 2014, it is 50. So have to be very clear in it. Maximum number of partnership firm is 50. Okay, good. The next one, the definition, this and that, which was given by 1932, they may be asked it. Okay, and apart from that, some provisions are there. So every partners are liable. Liability of the partnership is very dangerous for business. I told you already, isn't it? And apart from that, the partners can get some interest on their loans from the firm, or partners can get interest on capital from the firm, or partners have to pay some amount of interest on drawings to the firm. So before that, we should discuss about partnership deed. What is partnership deed and what is partnership agreement? What is the difference between these two? Deed and agreement. So deed is a written agreement. Agreement may be in the form of oral or written. How to be very clear in it? Agreement may be in the form of oral or written, but deed must be in written format. Deed have some formats like contents of deed. What are the name of all the partners and what is their profit and loss sharing ratio? How much capital they have invested into the business? What is the objectives of its business? And what about interest on drawings, interest on capital, partners remuneration, rent, and interest on partners loan? Everything should be mentioned in partnership deed, isn't it? To avoid future contingencies, to future problems, we can maintain deed. Deed is advisable but not compulsory as per this partnership firm. But you know LLP, which is called as Limited Liability Partnership Act, is 2008. Recently, 2008 Act, Limited Liability Partnership. You know, partnership liability is unlimited. We have discussed about it, right? Partners individually and collectively liable for firm's debt. One partner, if he is having amount, he have to pay instead of all the partner. If others couldn't pay their debts, if the firm couldn't pay its debts to its creditor, so very dangerous of a business. So that's why I am saying again and again about this. And next one, provisions of partnership firm, like interest on capital. So how many percentage? As per the deed, that partner can get from the firm, and for how many months? So this and that should be prescribed in deed. If deed is silent about interest on capital, no interest will be given for partner. And interest on partner's loan. Interest on partner's loan, if deed is silent about 6%, have to give the firm to the partner. Have to give by the firm to the partner. So have to be very clear in it. Interest on partner's loan. And next one is interest on drawings. Interest on drawings. If any partner drawn their amount for their personal purpose, business money is withdrawn by the partner for their special purpose, if deed accepted to pay some percentages as interest on drawings, so he is liable to pay interest amount on its drawings to the partnership firm. That may be if he is withdrawing amount in the beginning of each month, or mid of each month, or end of each month, or beginning of each quarter, mid of each quarter, or end of each quarter, or date is not mentioned. So beginning of each month 6.5, mid of each month 6, and end of each month 5.5, and beginning of each quarter 7.5, end of each quarter 4.5. If date is not mentioned, the Sakila problem is there, so that is only 6 Okay, have to be very careful in it while you are preparing. And apart from this, guarantee profit is there in NCERT book. You refer that also. Interest on drawing is very very important. Interest on capital we have discussed, and interest on partners loan 6%. Remuneration, unless or otherwise deed is not accepted about remuneration, no partner will claim any remuneration money on its work, even he is an active partner favor for the partnership firm. Okay, if deed is accepted, he can get salary, commission as remuneration money. Set of accounts what will be calculated in partnership firm: trading account, profit and loss account, and profit and loss appropriation account, partners capital account, and balance sheet. These are the set of accounts for partnership firm. But usually we won't prepare, because in the board exam definitely they won't ask these many problems and all. So what they will be focusing, they are asking the questions from reconstitution of partnership firm, admission of a new partner, or retirement of a partner, or death of a partner, or dissolution of partnership firm. So this only they are focusing. They are not focusing about final accounts of preparation in a profit, which is that partnership firm. Okay. So anyway, but you have to know about it. What are the accounts will be prepared, and for what purpose that profit and loss account will be prepared in partnership firm.